Hello beautiful people, in this one we will tackle streaming OpenAI responses, form events, mutations, reader events and much more. Let's see exactly what we'll be doing. Let's have a chat about something interesting, like the evolution of technology in recent years. Alright, as always I'm starting off with a blank. Everything that we have here, it's start building. Perfect. Now let's actually create our API route, because this is gonna be the most important one. So in order to do that, let's install OpenAI. In your env local, please get an API key from OpenAI. I'm not gonna give you a walkthrough on how to do that, it's quite simple. Alright, generate, and then let's remove this generic, and let's remove this and all the unnecessary stuff, and let's import OpenAI from OpenAI and const OpenAI. It's going to be a new OpenAI instance. Now if request.method is not equal to post, then let's earlier return this, and then let's take the message from the body, and then let's do OpenAI dot data chat completions stream, and this is going to be the same sort of API that we use for the normal completions, just they already done all the hard work for us. So we need to set stream as true, and this is the most important one, and the max tokens, we're gonna set them to 100 because it's just gonna complete sentences. And then messages is going to be an array of objects, and then we have the initial role, which is gonna be our assistant, and his job is to finish any sentence the user starts without repeating the sentence the user said. When I was testing this out, I got some instances when it was actually giving me back the first sentence that I gave him. And then the content is going to be the message. Now, this stream, is going to give us some events that we can actually hook into. The first event that we're actually going to tackle is going to be the stream.on, and it's going to be on content. And then this is going to give us delta, and on this delta we're going to do response.write delta, and it's as simple as that. And then we need to get the event when this chat is actually completed, so chat completed, and we need to await the stream dot final chat completion. This is going to give us the normal data that we get in a regular event. Response.write, and I want to give it here an end stream so that I know it's from me, and then I want to give it back the completed chat, and then I want to end the response. And we should actually wrap all this into a try catch, even though we're just gonna console log the error, and then we're gonna set a response status 500. And this is the entire API route that we need to take care of. Now let's continue and create our use stream response hook. Okay, so for the stream response, we're going to be using quite a bit of state. So we're going to need to store the responses, the actual JSON data that we get back from the response, and the loading state. On top of that, we're going to be using React query to handle all this data fetching state. So it's pm add 10-stack React query. Now I'm gonna reload my developer window. Let's set up 10-stack query as well. So the setting up is quite easy. So it's const query client equal new query client, and then let's import the query client provider, and then let's wrap our app inside the query client provider, and now we are good to go. Perfect. Let's create the state. So this is all the state that we're gonna need, and now let's start handling the use mutation. Use mutation is going to take a mutation function, and this will take the actual message, which is going to be a string. And now we will do this. The method will be post, and the headers will be content application JSON. This is really important in order for us to be able to get the back the body from the actual request. And now Copilot almost guessed it right. Now we're going to do an initial check. So we need to check if there isn't a response.body. That means that readable stream, it's not supported in this browser. And then we can exit this. And as a future proofing or maybe an improvement mechanism, we could just return the data.json, but that's for another time. And then we can do const reader equal response.body.getReader. And then on the success of this request, then we can actually do the entire thing in here. So we need to set is loading to true, because this is the moment when it's actually loading and it's actually generating. And then we will need to create a function called read. And what read will do is we're going to take the done and the value from the reader.read method, and this is a type void when it should be a readable stream default reader. And then if it is done, then we need to set is loading to false and exit the function. If not, we need to get the text and decode it. Then the first check that we're going to do is that we need to check if we actually encounter this message. So when we encounter this message, it means we reached the end of the stream. So when we do that, then we can simply do this. If text.includes end stream, then we need to set the data to json.parse, and then we will take our text and replace end stream and everything before it. If not, then we set responses to responses plus the current response, so we get that streaming mechanism. And then we just need to call this read function so that we get an entire flow of this, and then we need to initialize it at the beginning. And for this we will return back responses, data, loading, and mutation. But mutation actually returns back a mutate, and we can just call it start stream, so it makes it a bit easier for us. And this mutation function, something it's not liking. We actually forgot to return the reader, and I think that React query is smart enough so it knows that reader is this, so we don't have to actually type anything. As a small advice, you know, you're using TypeScript right when you're not writing too many types. Now that we have everything done, we can move on to the actual form, and we can do the following. We're gonna use a state, and we're gonna get our sentence and set sentence, and we also need to import React. Afterwards, we need to get start stream, loading, responses, and data from use stream response. And then we can start building out our form. For the form, we're gonna create a section, and then we will have a form. This form will have an onSubmit that will prevent the default, and then start the actual stream. Now let's add the button label text area and input elements from shell.cn. And let's also add framer motion. Now that we have this in place, we can modify this to be message, because we are sending a message even though it's sentence. And to make it a bit more cleaner, then let's do a div, and inside this div we're gonna have our text area, and it's gonna have 10 rows, and on change it's gonna have this set message function, and the placeholder would be enter a message you want completed. And then from Lucid React, we will use the want to icon with the size of 64. I think it's a bit too big. Yeah, I think maybe the default size for this, it's gonna be alright. And now this container is going to have a flex, and then in order to make it a bit nicer, we're gonna give this one a minus margin left of 16, and then we're gonna give this one a margin padding right of 16, and it's not gonna be margin, it's actually going to be padding. Minus margin left, sorry. And then this one, it's actually going to be a button with the type of submit, and it will be a variant of ghost. And like this, everything is working and looking very nice, and we can actually give it a minus of 18, no, maybe 12. Yeah, I think 16 is going to be the one to go. And then let's make this button do some stuff when we're actually loading. So inside the UI button, let's make this one a framer button. So to do this, we need to change this into a normal button first. And then we need to say const button equal motion normal button. And like this, we have a motion button which can accept animate props. And then we want to do a rotate 360, and then we want to do a scale, and we want it to do a 1.3, 1.5, and back to 1 when it's actually loading. And we want the duration to be 0.5, we want it to be 1 second, and then for each of these elements, actually we're gonna remove the timing because it's easier like that. All right, let's now make it look a bit nicer. So for this, we need to go to the navbar and say finish my sentence. Let's give this one a padding top of 16 and then a text 6XL and then a text center. And let's give this section a max width of 2XL and then margin auto. And then for this form, let's give it a space wide of 4. And now we should get back a response. And we can see that it actually works, but we have a small problem. So the first problem is that I've put a class name where I didn't have to. So we actually need to do padding right of 14 and margin left of 14. So it matches this part here. And now we actually want it to complete in this text area. So for us to do this, we're gonna need to pass in a callback. So this set message callback on the uStream response. So let's do a stream callback as set message. And then inside the uStream response, we can do the set message, which is actually going to be a set message of type the uStream response, and we can remove this stuff and this stuff. And inside this set responses, we could do set message, and then we have back the previous message and the text. Let's check this out. Set message is not a function, so something is still complaining because it's not called set message, it's called stream callback. So that's the first problem. And then the second problem, maybe we don't have a second problem. It should be that the value is message, and now it should work. Like, let's check this out and see how it works. Maybe this works just fine, or perhaps there might be a few adjustments necessary for optimal performance. And now as a final improvement, we can do the following. We can do a use effect, which is gonna run on message, and then let's handle key down. And then if somebody presses the enter key and meta key, we can start the stream. And then let's add the event listener, and on unmount, let's remove the event listener. let's check out our shortcut. And now a longer sentence. And we can see the nice little animation, and we can see that everything is working fine. And as a final thing, I added a nice background at the end, and in order for this to work, I need to remove the background on the layout. And let's also remove the pre, because we don't need it anymore, and we have a nice little UI for this. Hopefully you're gonna build some cool stuff with it, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye, have fun!